Mr. Smoot raised the specter of violence in the streets, and especially Watts. We've been reading of late that the Black Panthers have become a kind of a social worker organization, somewhat like the Boy Scouts, who prefer to feed children who are starving or to go to Chad to clothe the unclad Hottentot. The Panthers are no such thing. I wonder, George Schuyler, if you would comment on the Panthers and on what's happening with the pixelated preachers, I think you call them.
Well, I tell you, I haven't been following the Panthers very closely. The police have been doing more of that. And the Panthers have now become rather respectable. They've become rather respectable now in that they've gotten government money and they're living well, and they starting off with Saul Alinsky and others who told them and taught them how to get money out of the government and how they could improve upon their situation by a little balm here and there, and then being funded. I didn't quite understand the meaning of the word until a school teacher who owns considerable property was telling me about the property that she had rented to a lot of the Black Panther crowd. Pardon me. And she wondered where they got the money to pay the rent, because she was certainly not going to give up any property. So she found out that they'd just go and get a fund for it. There are all kinds of funds that you don't know anything about, apparently, for everything under the sun, from adagio dancing to cooking home fried chicken and so on. And these amount to thousands of dollars. And it had thousands of people on the payroll. And they go downtown and have a demonstration in front of the mayor's office, jump up and down on top of automobiles, break a few windows, and then they go in and have what they call a confrontation. Most of these people were known, of course, before the Panthers came to prominence. They were ne'er-do-wells around the neighborhood, and they found out how you can get something for nothing. And just merely by having a confrontation, denouncing authorities, and pretty soon you see a fellow jumping out of a Cadillac or some other expensive car with a fur overcoat, and sometimes they don't even go downtown to get the money. They send down for it. And the police are not going to bother them, because the police are in on the racket too. They don't do anything. Once in a while they might whip somebody's head, but that's just some Panther that got out of line. The old heroic Panthers are sort of out of it now. I mean out of it in the sense that they're either in prison or they're on bail or something like that. But they got a new crowd of Panthers in there that are college and high school graduates, and they wear snappy clothes and go around with snappy girls, and they get snappy incomes. I don't really know how all this is done because I always had to do some kind of work for a living. But, these boys and girls have taught me something, and it makes me realize I don't belong in this century because they are flourishing now. And even though they're supposed to flourish and did more spectacularly during the past decade, when they were blowing up buildings and tossing firebombs and all that, but that's kind of out now. They're in the money, and I would say that they have made a successful war on poverty.
Mr. Schuyler.